Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about DC Comics. So I highly recommend you guys go and check out my previous video where I talk about DC Comics' All-In initiative getting announced. And in that video, I give my general thoughts and opinions on whether or not this is going to be a good idea or not. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the important news aspects of DC Comics' new All-In initiative that starts this October coming up in 2024. Now, we have actually got a DC Comics All-In #1 one-shot that was leaked, and it had revealed some pretty important information. And then following that, we had the head of the DC Comics' All-In initiative, or one of the heads of it, which is Scott Snyder. The other one is Joshua Williamson. He had made several tweets on his Twitter page talking about DC Comics' All-In initiative. Now, this is also very important because if you are following already ongoing series, you're about to be in for a shock for what is to come. So let's start it off right here because there's a lot to cover in this video. So Scott Snyder says, this October, DC Official goes all in. The biggest initiative we've tried in years. Every book will be a jumping on point, continuing series, new series, everything. With every kind of superhero story you could want. From new takes on the heroes to epic core line stories. So the only real big issue that I have with what he announced right here on his Twitter page is that he says right here that every book will be a jumping on point. So I don't know how you would make that work because, you know, when you get into a series, you know, you usually start from like, you know, issue 1, right? And then it's an ongoing until it either keeps being an ongoing or it gets canceled, right? Where you want someone to start at #1 because that is the beginning, you know? It would be really hard for a continuing series that is probably potentially going to be in about 7-8 issues to be a jumping on point. I would imagine that's going to be a pretty big task. You know, because I know a lot of people like read his tweet and they just kind of glanced over that, and I think it's a very, very important thing. So I'll just use this as an example, right? Let's use right here. We'll use this Ultimate Spider-Man #1, right? So if I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man number, I don't know, 5 or 6, wherever they're at right now with it, how do I expect that Ultimate Spider-Man #5 will be a jumping on point? You know, I just would imagine that would be a very hard thing to do. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they won't be able to do it. That's just going to be a really hard thing to do. Now, new series, that's easy because when you have their Ultimate Universe, which is obviously separate from their main continuity, but they're going to be overarching to each other, that's easy because, well, these are different versions of the iconic heroes, and these are different stories to tell that are just going to be brand new, right? So that's my only real, like, red flag right there. So then he made a second tweet to clear up some confusion that a lot of people actually had. And this one was, and to be clear, there's no reboot, no retcon with All In. Many of your favorite series are continuing with their current creative teams, but they will start new arcs with big jumping on points, and there will also be new series in the main universe and with the Absolute Universe. So this is kind of odd that he said this because it has been revealed that some of these series going on right now with DC Comics are going to have new creative teams, actually. Because I know he says they're continuing with your favorite creative teams. That's actually not true because it was revealed that they're going to have new creative teams for very popular comic titles DC has right now. So I don't know if this information, you know, changed right after he made this tweet, or maybe they were still going back and forth on that idea, but it's been proven that the current stuff that some of you may be following will have new creative teams. Whether that's a good or bad thing is up to you to decide, honestly. So then someone had asked, someone explained this to me like I'm 5. So he reiterates, in the main universe, every book will have a jumping on point. There will also be some new books, okay? There will also be a brand new universe with new takes on the characters, more jumping on points. So every book, new and continuing, will be a jumping on point for you. Yeah, but the problem with that is that's going to be so hard to do with an ongoing series. Like, how do you make an ongoing series like Action Comics or like the Superman series that they have going on too? How do you make that a jumping on point when that Superman series, the new one, that's not Action Comics, is already up to like issue 21 at that point, you know? So it's easy to know that the brand new universe will have a completely different overarching narrative and, you know, characters and how they're going to interact. That's fine. That's understandable, right? But that's kind of where I'm at currently with it right now. So, yeah, the idea of this sounds pretty good. It just depends on like if they start to have any rockiness, let's say, because, you know, Warner Brothers and DC are very synonymous with that, where if it starts getting a little bit bumpy in the road, they start to kind of panic and make a lot of panic decisions, right? So he also said in this other tweet, you know, there'll be some new characters in there as well. I think they talked about like Martian Manhunter getting an ongoing series, maybe from like the picture you can see right there, the Starfire right there, or Booster Gold, you know, so maybe their characters. I imagine it's those three right there, Booster Gold, Starfire, and Martian Manhunter getting new ongoing series. I don't know if Starfire can handle her own ongoing series, even if it's in a different universe, actually. Martian Manhunter is known for the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League, the other Justice League animated series, actually. But does he ever really sell very well in terms of comic books? Well, we'll have to see. So, this is the other important information. So, if you're following Detective Comics, Green Arrow, Action Comics, Wonder Woman, and I think it was Batman and Robin, Titans, they're going to have new creative teams, right? So, if you click on this website, they didn't reveal all of them, so I went to Reddit to see like the full list, and we had it right here, right? So, since not all of them are listed here, the new creative teams are Dan Waters and Dexter Soy on Nightwing, Taylor and Janin on Detective Comics, Wade and Clayton Henry on Action Comics, Weekly, Tamaki and Patridge on Supergirl backups, John Layman and Pete Woods on Titans, PKJ and Javier Fernandez on Batman and Robin, Chris Condon and Montos on Green Arrow, Gron Bibek and Mascolo on Catwoman, Elliot Kalin on Harley Quinn. So, I know people don't like Mark Waid, but Mark Waid does have some talent when writing comic books. I just hate when that guy is speaking at all with anything real world, like, because he's such a fucking piece of shit. So, Mark Waid went from, doing Shazam, World's Finest, he's doing the Absolute Power, like, current event right now, and then he's gonna get a chance to be on Action Comics. Like, talk about having the right, correct political opinions for this guy. Good lord. A piece of shit like him is getting tried on all these bigger characters. That's crazy. Alright? But if you weren't a fan of where these characters' directions were going with some of the previous creative teams, they're all gonna have all new creative teams coming up very, very soon. So then, this is the other important final piece right here when it comes to the Absolute Universe. So, DC Comics launches its Absolute Universe in October 2024, introducing new versions of classic characters. The Absolute Universe series begins with DC All-In Special Number 1, a one-shot exploring a universe-defining story. It's mostly a previews book, actually. And I think more of companies like Image, Dark Horse, DC, and Marvel should do preview books, because if you give preview books every month, which I know is definitely maybe might be a hard task, give or take who you put on the preview book, but a preview book is really good because it helps people that are on the fence about potentially maybe getting into comics, or they don't know where to start on like where their current favorite character might be at. There's a lot of good that these preview books can do, and I kind of always wonder, like, why don't they do them more? But, you know, alas, here we are. Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman titles are launching with fresh character designs, origins, and creative teams. So, for me personally, as you guys know, because I talked about these images in my previous video. I like the Wonder Woman design. I like the sword right there. I love that sword design. It reminds me of Cloud from Final Fantasy sword. You know, Superman's design is cool itself. The hair is wacky and I like it. Gives him like this nice, cool retro feel to him. I like the feel. I like the look of Superman. These two are my favorites. Batman's is very hit or miss. What I really don't like is that ugly square bat symbol he has. That looks so bad, honestly. But you know, his muscles are just really huge. It looks really odd, man. It's not as bad as the whole Rob Liefeld Captain America design, but goddamn, is that creeping up there, right? But it's not like an eyesore to look at, you know? But overall, I think some of the cover art looks pretty good. It was just the Batman images that didn't really sell me. But as you guys know, that's probably just going to be like variant covers. So, you know, or some level of that image being used in a variant cover to sell the book, obviously. And it's Batman, so it's going to sell no matter what. And let's keep going. After weeks of speculation, it's finally official. DC Comics Absolute Universe is launching October 2024. 3 new Absolute titles begin in October and November, along with a major universe-defining one-shot, and DC has confirmed everything from superstar creative teams to plot details. DC Comics has announced a brand new line of comics to run alongside its traditional DC universe that will explore a new absolute universe of classic characters, building Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and more from the ground up. The story of DC's Absolute Universe begins on October 2nd with a DC All-In Special Number 1 by Scott Snyder, Joshua Williamson, Daniel Sampere, and Wes Craig, a flip book one-shot featuring the literal dawn of the Absolute Universe and its new versions of DC's iconic Trinity. And yeah, this looks really good. I like this cover. I really do. It shows you that the Absolute Universe right here is different from this universe. But this right here, this circle, would imply that they're overarching, that there could be chance for crossover there. And right here you have the people that are going to be involved and everything, as far as like variant covers as well. Following the events of Absolute Power, the heroes of the core DC universe have fought against the deep divisions in the world around them to usher in a new era of unity. And it's just in time because Darkseid has returned. Superman gathers every DC superhero on Earth to hold the line against a vastly different version of the Lord of Apocalypse as they raise our cosmic defenses and prepare for war. And when the first blows land, the shockwaves will ripple across DC's core series, shaking the nature of their realities to their very foundation. But a greater threat looms on the horizon in the Absolute Universe. Here, DC's biggest icons come of age with fewer advantages while facing greater opposition than ever before, and retaining the immutable heroism that continues to inspire and entertain fans. But can they really protect the light that shines inside them when the world in which they live is hurtling toward a terrible destiny? In the following weeks, DC will launch 3 new titles as part of its Absolute line. Absolute Batman by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta, Absolute Superman by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval, and Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Shearman. So these pivotal books right here will make or break this universe, okay? If these books are not good, and I mean like the word of mouth is not good on them, or it's pretty so-so, this is going to start off very bad. Now, if the books are actually written very well and shop owners sell out of them in mass when they drop, because number 1s will have that, but remember when it comes to issue 1s, when it comes to comic books, everyone gets in for issue 1. But if the books are not good, issues 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all will have massive drop-offs. Now, I don't think that's going to be applicable as much as Batman and Superman, but for Wonder Woman, a character that doesn't really always sell very well, even though she is very popular, I think, honestly, the biggest make-or-break book for the Trinity is Absolute Wonder Woman, written by Kelly Thompson. You know, if she does not do a good job on writing Wonder Woman, that's going to be pretty bad. And with the announcement of these 3 buzzworthy creative teams ahead of San Diego Comic-Con, the hype for DC's Absolute Universe is well underway. So right here, you have all the release dates, and, here's the simple synopsises for Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. Absolute Batman, here's the synopsis for it. It's coming on October 9th, 2024. It is coming out after the DC All-In #1 special, releasing on October 2nd, as we previously covered in this video. Absolute Batman #1. In this iteration, fans will be introduced to a version of the Dark Knight that doesn't have the money, mansion, or butler of his core line counterpart. Readers will quickly find out what makes this absolute version of Batman when the debut issue arrives. Wow. Okay, so it's basically Bruce stripped of everything, and now he has to kind of build from scratch. Okay, that's intriguing enough. Coming out next on October 23rd, 2024 is Absolute Wonder Woman. For Diana, there is no island paradise, no sisterhood to shape her, nor a mission of peace. So what is the purpose of an Amazon warrior in this new universe? Eisner Award-winning writer Kelly Thompson and breakout artist Hayden Cheerman reinvent her from the ground up. Okay, alright, that's not that interesting, I'll say, but who knows, I might be surprised. And then we have Absolute Superman coming out on November 6, 2024. This Superman has no family, no fortress of solitude, and no home. Will he still stand for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow in this universe? Of course, I'm not going to use the American way. I mean, to be fair, this is a different universe, but... Ooh, I would ask you guys, do these synopsises sound pretty intriguing for you? Like I said before, I'm getting all of them in October. I'm getting all of them. Like, I'm getting everything. I'm getting the All-In special. I'm getting the rest of the titles too, right? But these synopsises of the characters sound pretty good to okay. They sound kind of average if you really want to level it out like that. I just hope they're written very well, that they can sell, Otherwise, this is starting off on some rocky ground right there. The absolute versions of the classic Trinity have brand new character designs, visually marking them as completely different characters from their DCU counterparts. With completely different origins to boot, these origins are surely shaped by the dark side energy that powers this universe, as explained by Snyder and Williamson in a YouTube announcement for the new DC All-In initiative and the Absolute Universe launch. Snyder and Dragotta's Absolute Batman I think I read that already, right? That's also just a note. Okay. Whatever, we'll fucking cover it. Snyder and Dragotta's Absolute Batman will follow a Cape Crusader without his traditional fortune and with biceps that make even Superman look small. Aaron and Sandinovel's Absolute Superman, meanwhile, offers readers a version of the Man of Steel without his human family and home. Well, that's kind of always been a big core selling point of Superman, so hopefully this is going to be able to sell. That sounds pretty dicey right there. That you're not going to have, like, core aspects of Superman play out, but once again, different universe, Thompson and Sherman's Absolute Wonder Woman, in a similar vein, presents Diana without her connection to the Amazon sisterhood. Each absolute hero lacks some seemingly essential fragment of their traditional origin, leading fans to wonder how the characters will become heroes in a world that seems so dark. Note, Scott Snyder returns to DC Comics after 4 years away. He is perhaps best known for his long-running tenure on Batman with artist Greg Capullo during DC's New 52 era, which in fact controversially rebooted DC continuity nearly to the beginning. As confirmed by DC during Snyder and Williamson's YouTube conversation, the Absolute Universe arrives as part of the line-wide DC All-In initiative, which will launch new titles, new storylines throughout October and November, each serving as the ideal jumping-on point for new readers. New continuity, Absolute Universe, may be the major highlight of this announcement, but DC All-In does not include any retcons or reboots for DC's main continuity. Just to make sure you guys know that. No reboots this time around. Many of the books and stories begun during the Dawn of DC era will continue without major interruptions, just with new arcs and starting points for readers. The announcement of these 3 creative teams is only the beginning of DC's plans for the Absolute line, especially as top-tier creators from around the industry sound off on social media with their own all-in notices. But these 3 teams are particularly exciting, especially as they seem to have been given near total creative freedom in reinventing these 80-plus-year-old characters between industry stalwarts like Snyder and up-and-coming talent like Sherman. These Absolute Universe titles are bound to be special, marking a new turn in DC Comics history. Follow the Absolute Universe from the beginning when DC All-In Special Number 1 hits shelves October 2nd from DC Comics. So, that's also very important too. If you want to get in on this universe from the ground up, get DC Comics All-In Special Number 1. Then you can pick and choose whether or not you're going to get Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. I'm getting everything actually. Because right there, you can start with this universe from the beginning. That way, later on, like, it won't be so confusing for you if you chose to, get in potentially like a year down the road or maybe 2 years. Right now, if you're a new person to comic books, I would say, get in on this when it comes this October. And if it's not for you, it is what it is, but at least you tried it out. What is also dropping in October is the new YuGiOh ongoing series from Skybound and Image. So yeah, October, your boy's gonna be out here buying some comic books. It's about to get crazy. So overall, the only thing that I'm super skeptical about is the descriptions of these characters. Just saying, but I do understand it is in a different universe, whole different look on the characters. And which is a good thing because it doesn't encroach on what the current characters are doing. This is different versions of these characters, so it doesn't stomp and shit and piss on the other already existing characters. That is a good thing. But now, since you are doing that, you also need to do a take on these characters, which they're doing, that is going to resonate with people and get them in to buying these. Not just the one time. It has to be a consistent thing, because I promise you guys now, a lot of people are going to start with it. It's going to be really easy to tell who's stuck with it after the issue 1s for everything that's coming for DC Absolute Universe. And it's going to be easy to tell who has fallen off of it, given potentially the bad writing, bad story structure that may or may not come with this new All-In initiative. So yeah, what do you guys think about DC Comics' All-In initiative? I'm getting everything, and I can't wait to start it off doing all that comic book reading for you guys and reviews. And the last thing I'll say in this video is if you also want to get into Marvel Comics' new Ultimate Universe relaunch, get Marvel Comics' Ultimate Invasion trade paperback, covers issues 1 through 4, and then get the one shot right here. So, and at that point, just with these 2 books, you could get into the Ultimate Comics universe and then choose between Ultimate Spider-Man, X-Men, Black Panther. So, DC Comics saw the success that Marvel had with their Ultimate Universe relaunching with different takes on certain characters. They were like, hey, we want a piece of that. So yeah, I'm getting everything. I'm all in. So, and I must ask the question, are you? Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you're a returning viewer or new viewer, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.